Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL and happy Friday to everyone. Thanks so much for popping in. And if you are new to IFYL, well, I have my phone. Let me just go grab it over here. I'm just going to tell you to take your phone and point it to that QR code that you see at the top right hand corner of your screen. Once you do that, that'll bounce you over to my link tree with lots of great information for you and those you care so much about and how to improve their lives. If you have any trouble getting there, just go to Believe, Believe, me, Achieve, ACHIEVE.com for John's Daily National Day video, JCM Academy TikTok, my John C. Morley Serial Entrepreneur YouTube channel, Inspirations for Your Life, which is the show, JCM Academy Business Coaching, Envision Networking, Science Fridays, and How to Network with John, and so much more. You are going to want to check this out. I promise you, friends. All right. If you are coming back, well, welcome back, my friends, colleagues, and wonderful associates. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for continuing to watch my show, my great content, and soak up all this great information that I know you so much are enjoying. All right. So hopefully some of the new people will become loyal like all of you have been for a long time. And let's get into that master topic, shall we? We are at the Friday, which is day 7. And you see what that means? This is the last day that we'll be talking about this master topic for the entire week. This is the day that we end, and tomorrow we have a brand new master topic. I've hinted to what it's going to be, so not too much of a surprise to some of you that are watching the program. The master topic is how to make it a habit. We're on series episode 7. Now, we talked about habit a while back with Merriam-Webster and things like that, and explained, what they say a habit is. And so habits are good things. They can be bad things too, but good habits help us to become more successful because it puts our life on autopilot. What do you mean? Oh, does that mean we just do things without knowing them? No, we're doing things that we want to do in our lives. And so when we become more accustomed or more comfortable with certain things, you know what happens? We're more efficient and able to do things quicker and in a manner that is going to yield success and yield it much quicker, I should say, than before. So when we think about a habit, right? A habit is pretty cool, if you ask me. And so habits are what can help you get an edge over your competition, help you become a better version of yourself. So there's so many good things about good habits. The thing is that habits don't happen overnight. So people say, oh, gee, John, I've been doing this for days and days. I hear you, but maybe what you're trying to build, the intention is not strong enough. Maybe. I could be completely wrong, but usually it's not strong enough. And so if it's not strong enough, then your body's be like, oh, I'm not going to spend time investing in that because I don't know what that's going to do for me, right? Thinking about this means that you as a person appreciate what's going on, right? You appreciate what's going on. And by appreciating what's going on, that means that you are ready for something different, right? But again, a habit doesn't just happen, willy-nilly. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Habits. Habits are interesting things, right? They're very, very interesting things. But what does it mean to really believe and support a habit? Well, first thing you need to understand is that a habit is a way of life, okay? It is a way of life. And so if a habit is a way of life, that means that you as a person are going to become better in your life, right? You're going to become better. Habits allow us to become adaptable to our environment and respond in a manner in which we can be highly successful and using the least amount, ladies and gentlemen, of energy possible. So this is why you want to develop habits, not just because they're cool and because they're the latest in thing. Well, they're not a fad, but why? It's really simple. Really, really simple. Habits are an important part of your life. Imagine you being able to, I don't know, let's say you were able to make deductions and decisions on things, right? In a way that's very different than you did before. Maybe you spent a lot of time trying to figure things out, but in the long and the short of it, you really don't get anywhere. You don't get anywhere. So, what does that mean that you don't get anywhere? Well, I think it means that you're kind of spinning your wheels. You're spinning your wheels. And by spinning your wheels, I mean that you are just not on track with things. Okay? You're not on track. And so, what does it mean to not be on track? Well, really simply, to not be on track is something that is going to waste a lot of your energy. All right? A lot of your energy. People in our world are put here for a few different reasons. One, to teach us a lesson. Two, to be a part of our life for a very long period of time, maybe forever. But then people are also put in our life to help you make a deduction that you have more ability than you think. That's right. People are put in our lives so that we, as individuals, can actually believe in ourselves more. What are you saying, John? I'm saying that people don't believe in themselves a lot of time. What do you mean? Well, they don't believe in themselves because they've never done anything like this before. They've never done anything like this before. And so if that becomes the case, what is it that you need to understand? And I think what you need to understand is that the more you learn to develop habits and that your body becomes accustomed to them, the more efficient you're going to be, the least amount of energy you're going to use, and the more consistent you'll be. Because you're going to get into a pattern. Your body, your mind's like, oh, I know this state, or I know this phrase, or I remember this situation. I know what this was like. And it'll either propel you toward it or will pull you away from it. Now, that might sound like a bad thing, but it's not. If you were pulled away from something that was going to waste your time, money, effort, and resources, I think that's amazing. Habits. We can build good habits for studying. We can build good habits for our health. We can build good habits for just general fitness. We can build good habits for our social connections that we have. We can build good habits for the way we conduct business. We can build good habits for the way we listen. So let's talk about that one for a moment. Many people say to me, John, I listen, but I don't think like I really get anything. And so why is that? I'm going to tell you. It's not because you don't want to listen, it's because you haven't been trained to listen. Huh? All right. So listening is a skill, right? And everyone can get better and better at this skill. However, it doesn't happen overnight. So if you listen to people, your friends, colleagues, associates, significant others, the same way you listen to a concert or music, well, let's just say that other person's probably not going to want to be hanging around you too much because you're not actively listening. You're passively just listening and maybe expecting something to catch you. If it doesn't, then you just stay in this dormant state. And when you make a choice to actively listen, ladies and gentlemen, your life changes. Your life changes. How? Well, it's really simple. Making the choice to change is the first thing. So if we want to become a better listener, we want to make the choice to change. Okay, great. We've made the choice. And we're going to commit to ourselves that we're going to do it no matter what. That's great. How do we become an active listener? Well, we have to listen more than we speak. So as we listen, we really want to pay attention to what's going on. Almost like a tiger sitting on the edge of its chair. If you were a tiger and you can imagine yourself sitting on the edge of your chair, listening like the way a tiger would listen, listening for any sound, any disturbances, you could hear things even quieter than a pin drop. Wow. A pin drop. What's quieter than a pin drop? I'm asking you a question. What is quieter than a pin drop? A pin drop is pure silence. Can you hear a pin drop? Sure. But you've got to be so tuned into the situation. A pin drop is only 10 decibels. A soft whisper is 20 decibels. An air jet from an aircraft is 130 decibels. Hopefully that gives you some type of an understanding. And let's say how many decibels is maybe a fan? Well, a fan is 60 to 70 decibels. Pin drops. If I was to drop a pin right now in the room, would you hear it? Or would you just see it? And if you could only see it and not hear it, then that means you're not putting 150% of your attention on that pin. If you're with somebody and you couldn't hear a pin drop in that room when they weren't speaking, then you're not actively listening. Actively listening also means that when you hear something, you relate it to something, thus helping you remember it. So that when they finish their conversation, guess what? You're able to pick up and say, maybe they said something like, well, when I went to Paris or I went to Italy, you could say, well, gee, really? That's interesting. What did you like so much about Italy? Or what part of Italy were you in? Or what drew you to Italy? Is that your family's background? Or so you can see what I'm saying? When you can ask a question that's tied to something the other party's interested in, guess what? They're now going to become as attentive to be able to hear a pin drop. So right now, let's imagine that I have a pin and I was going to drop it. Could you hear it? Could you hear that little 10 decibel sound? Could you hear that slight twang as it hit the little tack as it hit the ground? If you didn't, you've got too much chatter going on in your brain. Got too many monkeys going at it. And they're distracting you from giving your full attention with your senses. This is why we say meditation is so great. But what I want you to know is that making something a habit in your life will do more for just you than you think. It'll also help others because others are going to notice the change in you. The best way to carry out a habit is not to tell anybody. And when they see that you've done something, well, how'd you do that? Well, it was easy. I just started doing it and I got into a habit of it. A habit. A habit where you can't do something else unless this is done first. I told you the habit I had when I was in grammar school and high school. I had a habit that I would never go outside and play until my homework was done. And I remember coming home from grammar school. I also remember being in the choir at my school. And on Wednesdays, that's when Sister Mary Teresa, that was her name. I don't believe she's still alive anymore, was having rehearsal. And she was very strict. It was held in the church. You could have your snack or whatever you were going to do from like 3 to 3:20, and then 3:30 you needed to be up on the altar, ready to go with your snacks away, very attentive and ready to listen and to sing. Now, it sounds easy, doesn't it? But if you're not attentive when you're learning a new song, it's going to be very difficult. If you're not attentive to hearing things like a pin drop, let's say you got a brand new car and you're not a tech guru and they spend that hour going through all the features with you. If you're not as attentive to be able to hear a pin drop that's 10 decibels, you're going to miss more than 75% of what the person is telling you. Not because you're being rude, simply because you're not focused, because you're not allowing your brain to make a natural, logical connection to allow you to build upon that. I want to end on this. When you build a house, you need to have a great foundation. So, what makes a foundation stick beside the stone or the concrete? The mortar, right? And what makes the foundation rise up? Well, then you need to start putting in flyboard, right? And so I would say to you that it's really about an interesting thing. Think about that for a minute. So if you want to make a habit, you got to build something as solid as a great foundation. So we know that we can't put windows in until we have a framing in, right? So in order to have a good home, a good hotel, or a good commercial building, we have to have a habit. And habits are usually based from best practices. Even in technology, we have best practices. Your best practices become your innate habits. We don't think of them as best practices, they become habits, but really they're best practices. And so when you start to build your life around best practices and you start to have them be inherent to things you're doing, your life just gets better. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this entire week we've had on how to make it a habit. And I want to end with this. You can build any habit you want if you have the discipline, the persistence, and the passion and commitment that it will take to build a habit. Remember, it doesn't happen in 7 days. It may not happen in 30. It might happen in 60. It might happen in 90. Might even happen in 365. But keep doing that every single day. And that habit will form just as solid as the strongest concrete building that we know today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, been a pleasure, been an honor to be with you again this wonderful Friday evening here at 11 p.m. Eastern. I hope you'll like, love, and support my channel. I'd love you to comment below. Did you learn something about habits this week? Let me know. Then I would love you to tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure to go to my YouTube channel, John Space E Space MORLEY Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase, ladies and gentlemen, to keep our content free and make the choice to buy my team and I a savory slice of watermelon, a refreshing vanilla cone, or perhaps a nice icy cold drink. Either way, we will all be very grateful with those pennies and dollars you invest in us. We'll put that into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to empower you with the fuel to change your life if you really want that to be so. Remember, I can lead you to water. I can't make you drink it. I can suggest that it's the best thing for you, but you have to make the choice to want to change your life. And when you do, I'm here to help you. Have yourself a great rest of your night. I will see you guys tomorrow, Saturday. We'll have a brand new master topic. And I've hinted already what it's going to be, so you're definitely not going to want to miss it. It's going to definitely be great. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Take care. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys. Yes, I will definitely see you guys tomorrow. So take care and be well.